These are moments when canines went rogue on their handlers. Meet this Dayton Police Department canine who on July the 24th of 2024 was involved in the pursuit of two teenage suspects. The assailants were found in a stolen vehicle and sped away when they saw the officers coming, eventually opting to ditch the car and continue the chase on foot.
Stop! Take it back! Pocket! 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 No, pocket! No! No, pocket! No, Ronnie! Pocket! Him! No! Him!
Y'all got it.
Get on the ground! No! Hey, no! What? No! Hit me. Yeah, I'm fine. What? No!
Both of the minors were taken into custody and transported to the Juvenile Justice Center. The officer involved was bitten twice on the leg and once on the hand and had to be taken to the hospital for treatment. But despite the officer being bitten, the community was alarmed and outraged at the body cam footage showing the handler open hand striking his canine companion. The blowback even included a reactionary statement from PETA declaring that if the Dayton Police Department can't commit to treating canines humanely, then they shouldn't have a canine unit. The Dayton Police Department responded with their own statement, assuring the public that they are taking this matter seriously and will be conducting an administrative review to assess the incident circumstances and training to ensure the appropriate measures are taken. The investigation is ongoing. Another example is this next police canine who went way overboard during this arrest. On September the 20th of 2019, an officer initiated a traffic stop on a vehicle that he witnessed flashing its high beams. The driver, later identified as Stephen Brennan, complied and pulled over, but abruptly hopped out of the car and began advancing towards the officer.
Turn around! Turn around! I'm gonna set my dog in a bit. Turn around! Turn around! Turn around! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Get him! Get on the ground! Stop resisting! Get him! Dogs on the bike! 801 Route 1, start me a unit.
Let the dog. Leave the dog alone.
Good boy. Out! Good boy. Down. Don't move. Don't move.
I like this.
1046 is one male. You start me rescue for a dog bite. Copy a plate.
An ambulance arrived about 10 minutes later to find Stephen with a bloodied face, black eyes, and a mangled leg, as well as an injury to the chest wall and puncture wounds on his left arm. He required extensive treatment and months of follow-up care before he was fully healed. Following that recovery, he filed a lawsuit for the injuries he sustained during the arrest, and in January of 2022, he would be awarded a measly $350,000. As for the officer involved, he was not punished for the incident, and no changes were made to the department's use of force or dog policy since the incident was determined to be an accident. This canine encounter was also unintentional, but this time it was the officer's fault. On May the 9th of 2021, officers located a stolen GMC Sierra parked with a suspect sitting in the driver's seat. There were also several others standing around the vehicle, and because of this, the officers treated the confrontation as a high-risk stop. As they approached the truck, the driver started it up and began to flee, but stopped only a short distance later.
Hey, show me your hands. You're gonna get bit by the dog. Get on the ground. Get on the ground. Hands. If you run, you're gonna get bit by the dog. King 2, it's going to be a westbound stop on the street that's east and west. West of, I believe it's going to be Rogers. Hey, if you take off, bro, you're surrounded, man. No, leave it right there. When everyone gets here, keep your foot on the brake. Watch this dude right here, dude. Okay, keep your hands where I can see them. Hey, hold right here. Hey, hands up, both of you. Hey, hey!
An officer who had just arrived on scene opened the back door to one of the patrol vehicles so that he could take cover behind it, as is standard practice, but he didn't realize until too late that that unit contained another canine, and the officers could only scream in horror as the dog immediately jumped out and made a beeline for the suspect on the ground.
Hey, hold right here. Hey! No, there's a dog there. Hey, hey!
Bowie lows! Bowie lows!
Bowie! Bowie!
Bowie lows! Cover the car! Cover the car!
Move!
Just
Oh, get the dog off.
Auto. Life.
The canine bit down on the suspect's arm so tight that the officer had to use a tool to pry his mouth off. The victim was then transported to the hospital, while the suspect inside the stolen truck was taken into custody. It would later be determined that none of the officers involved would face criminal charges, since it was clearly an accident, but the canine responsible was taken off duty and its handler was reassigned to another unit until they could undergo retraining together. After a second round of training, the pair were reunited and allowed back on patrol. The only thing that could possibly be worse than a canine being turned loose on a suspect is a canine turning on its own officer. During spring break of 2022, officers in the area of Panama City Beach were trying to gain control of a rowdy group of beachgoers when one officer in particular was walking around with a canine, using it to intimidate a female suspect.
Where my shoe at? I don't know, but he can bite me. What he do? He ain't do that. He ain't. Oh my God! He biting him. He biting his ass.
The handler was misbehaving so violently that his own canine mistook him as the aggressor and began attacking him. The handler was eventually able to get the canine under control, and the suspect was taken into custody by other officers without further incident. No further updates about this case are available. Even the dog agrees that the officer doesn't deserve to keep his position. The same goes for this next officer who cruelly sicked his canine on a suspect that was just trying to peacefully surrender. On July the 4th of 2023, police initiated a traffic stop on a semi-truck that was missing one of its mud flaps. The driver, 23-year-old Jadarius Rose, had pulled over to the side, but upon seeing officers exit their vehicles with their guns drawn, he got scared and took off.
It's gonna be close to the road. It's like county line. You'll see there's several units.
David off-road, good try again.
Okay, I'm coming to a stop.
Get out of the truck!
You just pull back out.
Okay, you switch over to Quick County or Rose County?
He took off again. We're heading northbound, 23. 1959 Jackson, I'll have traffic. We're northbound, right lane. He rolled the window down, looked at us, rolled it back up. We're northbound, 48 miles an hour, passing Moore Road in Rose County.
I need an update for 1020 again.
A few miles down the road, Jadarius voluntarily stops the truck again, where this time he was on the phone with police, telling them that he was scared the officers were going to shoot him. After a few minutes, dispatch was able to convince him to comply and get out of the truck.
Tell them to stop there if they got wrong.
That's a dog! Come to me! You don't one bit! On the ground, you're gonna get bit. Come to me, man! Don't let sleep.
Do not let them, don't release the dog. Do not release the dog with his hands up. Do not release the dog with his hands up. Do not release the dog with his hands up. Don't. Do not. Get the dog off of it. Get the dog off of it.
Get the dog! Get out the dog! What's the cat? What's the cat? Get the cat!
I got squad.
So,
Put your hand back. Give me your hand.
get the first aid. What? Yes, clear that. You got a first aid kit going up right now?
Yep, he's bringing it to me. I'm working on it.
Even after the state trooper had yelled several times for them not to release the dog, a Circleville officer not only continued to advance with his canine, but then intentionally let the canine go and attack the suspect, who was actively surrendering. Jadarius was subsequently taken to the hospital, where he was treated for a nasty bite on the arm, and then transported to the station to be charged with failure to comply. As for the dog's handler, an internal investigation determined that he had violated several department policies during the encounter, and as a result, he was fired 3 weeks later. At least Jadarius didn't have to suffer as long as this next suspect, who was mercilessly mauled by a police canine for over 5 minutes straight. In 2017, 27-year-old Shane Mago was leaving the Salt River after a day of tubing with friends when he got into an altercation with someone in the parking lot concerning a car accident. Police were called to the scene, and the altercation escalated into a brawl, and during which time an officer broke his leg in the scuffle. Shane was arrested and transported to the police department, but all throughout the encounter he was resistant and continued to disobey their commands.
Step out slowly. What have I done wrong?
Step out of the car.
Slowly.
Step out or I'm going to pull you out. Step up.
If you fight, you're going to get bit.
What am I being arrested for?
Walk inside.
Walk inside.
You're making aggressive movement. You're going to get bit. Am I clear? Walk inside and tell me why I'm being arrested. Why am I being arrested? What have I done wrong? Why am I being arrested? What have I done wrong? Tell me why I'm being arrested. I have done no reason. I have done nothing wrong. What have I done? You just have to be a What have I done wrong?
Over the next minute, the canine officer approached and let the dog bite Shane a few times before backing away, and then a female officer came into the room and aggressively grabbed the combative suspect by the neck multiple times with so much force his head slammed into the wall behind him. All of this occurred while Shane was in handcuffs and defenseless. They then took him to the ground where he was attacked by the dog once again.
Please, officer, please. I will comply, sir. I will comply, sir. I will comply, sir. I will comply. I promise you I will comply. I will completely comply. Do not move. I will not move, sir. I will not move. I will not move.
Shane was writhing in pain as officers kept telling him to hold still and took their time securing him, and after about 5 minutes of his leg being ripped to shreds, the officer finally ordered the canine to stand down. Shane was subsequently taken to the hospital to be treated for the dog bites, and months later he pleaded guilty to aggravated assault on a police officer and was sentenced to 6 months in jail. But following his release, he then filed a lawsuit against officers involved, claiming that they had tortured and assaulted him. The case was settled in May of 2021 for a measly $25,000. And when asked why they accepted such a low payout, Shane's lawyer told the media, the reality was there's a civil case by Krissinger and restitution from this criminal conviction. Shane just needed it to end. His attorney was referring to a lawsuit that had been filed by Officer Krissinger, the one who had broken his leg, who was, in turn, suing Shane for negligence and assault and battery. The case is still ongoing. There's no doubt these suspects have been put through some traumatizing situations, but have you ever wondered what happens when a suspect decides to bite back?
Find my dog!
On March the 21st of 2018, officers were called to a residence in regards to an unwanted person, and when an officer arrived, he witnessed a man walking around the home and pounding on all of the windows and doors, demanding to be let inside so he could go to sleep. The suspect was later identified as 44-year-old Leland O'Malley.
Step out right now. Step out, please. Thank you. Good, man. I appreciate it. You're a good guy. Just don't rush at me. Okay. Good. The dog will bite you if you come back too to be too close. Okay. Just come out here a little more. You're doing good. You're doing great. Stay right there. Stay right there. Stay right there. Stay back. Stay back. Stay back. Stay back. Rivera! Rivera! Get out of the ground. Get out of the ground. Stop biting my dog! Stop biting my dog!
Leland clearly did not appreciate being bitten because he decided to give the canine a taste of its own medicine, attempting to take a chunk out of its neck. However, the officer was able to pull him off, and his canine partner was left uninjured, probably on the account of all the fur. Leland was taken into custody, and 3 months later he pleaded no contest to counts of resisting an officer and shoving or striking a police or fire animal. He was then sentenced to 3 months in jail. This goes to show that police canines are put in just as much danger as their human counterparts, but sometimes they're the source of the danger themselves, like in this next wild canine who sunk his teeth into a suspect's head. On August the 6th of 2015, 70-year-old Clyde Gebeline was pulled over for an inspection as he was driving a truck pulling a tandem-axle fifth-wheel trailer that was carrying an excavator. But when the deputy informed Clyde that he would need to inspect the vehicle, he became argumentative and insisted that since it wasn't a commercial vehicle, the deputy didn't need to check it.
Morning, sir. How are you? I see a business name on your excavator here. Are you running a business?
Why?
Are you doing work right now?
Yeah.
Where are you headed to, if I might ask?
Dorchester.
And the reason I ask this is I don't see a name or a USDOT number displayed on your truck.
People told me I don't need one.
You would, sir.
I'm not for hire.
Well, whether you're for hire or not, you're still considered a commercial motor vehicle as long as you make a buck, you own a business, and you're going to a job site, or considered a commercial motor vehicle.
What am I supposed to do?
Well, you have to obtain your USDOT number. That's first off.
I'm not going to do that.
And then,
I got to get going.
Well, you're going to have to wait until we're done with the
I'm not
inspection.
going to wait either.
Well, you'll have to.
No, I don't have to.
Yes, sir, you
Don't
do.
tell me, hey, I have to.
No.
I'll get in that truck and leave.
Well, that's fine, but then I'm going to have to arrest you.
Go ahead.
You're staying here, sir. You're not leaving.
I'm leaving.
No, you're not.
I got work to do.
No, we're going to go through this inspection. You need to settle down. That's fine. You're going to be placed under arrest.
Clyde then took off from the deputy, resulting in a 15-minute chase where he eventually came to a stop and emerged from his truck again, but this time he was confronted by the K9.
You're on plane now.
216, you're covered.
After Clyde was knocked to the ground, the K9 proceeded to sink its teeth into his head, and after a few moments the handler was able to get the dog off and Clyde was transported to the hospital. He would be treated and released to police custody the next day, where he was then charged with fleeing an officer, resisting an officer, and operating a commercial vehicle without a license. The charges were eventually dropped, and months later he filed a lawsuit against the K9 handler himself. There are no current updates about this case. Clyde definitely got more than he bargained for out of that stop, but this suspect got exactly what he was asking for after intentionally provoking the police.
Fuck, no! Get
On July the 31st of 2024, a large group of right-wing protesters gathered outside of a hotel to demonstrate anger that they were housing asylum seekers. At the front of the crowd was 54-year-old Stephen Malin and his partner, 29-year-old Ryan Shears, who were taunting officers and encouraging the rioters to push forward. The crazy thing is, these two weren't even part of that riot. They were just two drunk idiots who had come across the angry mob while they were stumbling to get more booze and then decided to join in on the fun.
Get fucked! Don't touch me! Right, move back now! Don't touch me! Move back now! Move back! Move back! Get back now! Get back! Get back! Get back!
Right as Stephen turned around with the intention of twerking in the officers' faces, the K9 appropriately bit him right on the ass, and pretty hard. Following that little display, Stephen and Ryan were both arrested and charged with violent disorder. The pair pleaded guilty to the charge, and in August of 2024, they were both sentenced to 2 years and 2 months in prison. However, that's mild compared to this next K9 who wasn't attacking only the legs. He was aiming for the officer's face. On January the 29th of 2022, officers performed a traffic stop on a vehicle identifying the driver as Junping Liang. During the stop, the officers detected the odor of marijuana in the car, and they requested that she jump out and advised her that they were going to do a sniff search.
He's trying to conduct his police business. We want to screen this. He's suspicious of your travel. You have leashes? Okay, let's get the leashes and let's get your dogs. I don't want our dogs fighting with your dogs.
Sam, let's get the leashes and get going.
Yeah,
You already have the inside zipped up.
I'm
You're fine.
still so cold.
The woman continued to prolong the stop, apparently not wanting to let her dogs out of the car, and it would later become clear exactly why. One of her dogs was a trained attack dog, and when she finally opened her car to let it out, it immediately sprinted toward one of the officers.
Oh my gosh, she's letting him go. Damn it! Hang on. Hang on. We're not going to kill him. Hang on a minute. You got him? Oh, buddy.
After the suspect's dogs were leashed and safely secured inside the patrol car, the officers commenced their search of her vehicle. Inside, they found exactly what she and her animals had been protecting: 100 pounds of marijuana. The suspect was immediately placed under arrest and transported to the station to be charged in relation to the marijuana possession and trafficking. The officer involved didn't suffer any disfiguring injuries, but did sustain a few bites that would end up needing stitches. Thankfully, that officer was prepared for the worst, as his quick actions definitely saved him from a gruesome fate. We could say the same for the next officer, who would have gotten his leg torn open if he hadn't moved out of the way just in time. On May the 16th of 2022, animal control was requested to the home of Faryal Kabir after it was reported that her 1-year-old German Shepherd Zeus had bitten someone. Upon arrival, it was agreed that she would walk Zeus to the animal control van and put him in herself.
I'm sorry? Oh, I thought you were talking to me. Whoa, 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 whoa! Yeah. You okay? Close the kennel, ma'am. No, the clear one. Ma'am. Lift up on the metal part. On the metal part. There you go. You got broken skin?
Yeah.
All right, well, ma'am, he bit this officer.
Yeah.
Now.
Right here, ma'am.
Because I told you guys, let me take it
You
myself.
did not have control of the dog.
Let me take it
All right.
myself.
All right. You can follow.
You guys didn't
Get all your
tell
stuff,
me.
okay?
If the woman was familiar with California's dog bite law, she would probably be showing a little more concern. California Civil Code Section 3342.5 outlines the conditions under which a dog can be forcibly put down. These circumstances include whenever a dog has bitten a human being on at least 2 separate occasions, and whenever a dog trained to fight, attack, or kill has bitten a human being without provocation, causing substantial physical injury. At that point, Zeus had done both of those things, thus it should have come as no surprise when she received a court order weeks later stating that Zeus would be euthanized. He was put down 5 months later, and she was so distraught following his passing that she threatened to unalive herself several times and had to be hospitalized. A year after Zeus's passing, she then filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the city, seeking $10 million for the dog. The case is still ongoing. Having a dog that's trained to attack only works against you if they aren't trained properly. If you enjoyed this video, watch this one, and don't forget to subscribe.